At that point, all I wanted was to become a millionaire. As a young person growing up, being a millionaire was a good thing. Everyone wanted to be a millionaire. I was growing up in Kenya, as most of you know. Of course, being a millionaire was something revered, something that most of us were told nice things about. Millionaires were respected, and therefore, as a child, all you want to be is to get to that status whereby people can probably give you the same kind of respect. You can get to afford certain things, certain lifestyles, and certain services and even goods that you can't afford probably in your family. I had that very clear goal in mind that I wanted to be a millionaire as early as possible. And for me, that was like a big goal, a big feat, something, something amazing to achieve. I did manage to achieve that quite early in life. I'm grateful to say that I did manage to become a millionaire very early in my life. And most people didn't even know about it. Most people didn't even know that I became a millionaire. And one thing about being a millionaire or achieving this goal is that sometimes you get there and you're like, okay, this is it, done. So you're like, okay, that was not very much of what I expected. It's an anticlimax of sort. You're thinking if you get to a millionaire status, there will be shangwe na vigelegele. But no, you get to that status, life has to move on. You have bigger goals, you have more things to achieve. Probably at that time, having a million Kenya shillings, it's not a big deal anymore. The economy has also changed, but it's still a good thing to achieve because then it gives you that specific goal. It gives you that place that you want to get to. It gives you that thing that you want to aim for and achieve. And so for me at that point, I really wanted that. And however much it may seem lame that someone just wants to be a millionaire, at that time, that's all you know. And that's all you've been taught. And that's what you see around you because we are a product of our environment. So what you hear people say, what you hear people respect, what you hear people desire is what you end up desiring. So at that time, all you want is to be a millionaire, despite not knowing the consequences or the things around, being a millionaire. So today, I'm just going to tell you what are the things that made me a millionaire at 22. So after high school, I managed to become a millionaire. So what are those things that actually made me a millionaire? Remember here at Ken's Money Matters, we talk about the money mindset, how to make that money, how to enjoy that money, how to manage that money, how to invest that money, and how to assure yourself of a lifetime of income, basically financial freedom. So how did I get to become a millionaire at 22? That's a young age. There are people who achieve it earlier, but mine was at 22 and I'm proud of it. I was very grateful for the people around me and for myself for achieving that goal. But what led me there? I think I've done a video on the skills I've learned, the things I've done as hustles throughout my life, and most of you will know the hustles I've gone through, the hustles I've done to try and make money from a very young age. I've always been a proper hustler. I remember very clearly, even before I joined Form 1, I worked in my dad's hardware in a town called Oyugis in Kenya. It was called Moonlight Hardware, one of the best Yugis at that time. And I was in class 8, but I was the manager of that hardware, and I was managing people who were way, way older than me. People who were basically my dad's age. But I was taking money, doing accounts, making sure that we treat our customers right, making sure that I report to my dad every evening and telling him how much we made from the shop, from the hardware. And it was a really good thing. It basically taught me a lot of things about businesses. It taught me a lot of things about money. It taught me a lot of things about how to manage and handle money in a proper way. I don't even know why I was trusted with that, but that was just after class 8. And then I think I did it when I was on holidays in high school. I used to go and manage the hardware until at such a point when I had to leave and go to campus. And after that, things just went downhill after that because there was no one to manage it. My dad was busy with other things. And despite the failure of that hardware at the end of the day when I wasn't there, I'm glad I wasn't there when it failed. I learned a lot of lessons. But what I'm saying is that I had that idea of money management from a very early age. So I believe from that particular context and from that particular, experience, I managed to carve for myself certain structures or certain principles and values that then drove me towards my goals and what now made me to achieve the millionaire status at 22. But now, what are the specific reasons, specific values or principles that made me a millionaire at 22 that you could use today and become a millionaire? And if you follow them strictly, I'm sure you're going to be a millionaire. So the first thing is having clearly defined goals in order of priority and timeline. So at a very young age, I realized one thing, that with money, you had to define your goals. You have to know exactly what do I want to achieve. So going through the things I went through and going through some failures too in life and some difficulties, one thing I realized that if I had a specific goal in mind, I ended up achieving it. If I didn't have a very specific goal and I had like a vague or ambiguous goal, I didn't achieve much. So one thing I learned, and one thing that drove me to being a millionaire at 22 was that I had very specific, clear goals with very specific timelines and with clear priorities. And this one sometimes actually did set me apart from most people because I was so focused on certain goals that I didn't have time to do the things that other people were doing probably. But don't get me wrong, I was a very mischievous child in high school and stuff, but mischievous in the terms of, I was out there, I was interacting with people, making relationships, and also in the process having fun. And of course, our fun in high school, you know how it can go sometimes. So it's not that I wasn't doing all the fun stuff and all the things that teenagers would do or people in adolescence would do. But at the end of the day, I always went back to my room or my house and thought to myself, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to get to? So I was very clear, and this is something that has always been with me, on the things that I wanted to achieve, the goals I wanted to achieve, at what particular time and by what age. And this drove me to work so hard to make sure that I achieve those goals. So some of them, of course, you don't get to achieve them at the right time when you want them, but they teach you stuff. You get to learn more stuff even as you strive for those goals. The second thing that made me a millionaire is discipline with cash flow. The moment you're getting money into your hands, the moment you're making money, you have to know how to handle that cash flow. A lot of people make money, but they cannot keep the money. A lot of people make money, but they don't know how to manage the money. A lot of people make money, but they cannot tell you exactly where the money is going to. One thing with me is that I will tell you where my money goes to. I know exactly where my money goes to. There's no day you will come to me and I'll tell you, hey, I don't know where that money went to. I know where it went to. Even if I misuse it, I know where it's gone to. Being on top of your finances is something that will definitely take you to your goals much faster. So you have to be aware of how you spend your money, how you manage your money. You have to be aware where your money goes to. You have to be aware of the bills that you pay. You have to be aware of your responsibilities that you have to take financially. And that way you get to know, okay, anytime money comes in, you learn to pay yourself. And this is one thing I learned way earlier. I learned to pay myself. I learned to always ensure that each money that came into my pocket, there was something left for me. Not that everything was going on to paying stuff that I needed to pay, like transport, like food and stuff. There was money that was just meant for Ken, money that was just meant for my own goals. Remember, I had set my goals, so I had to be sure that there was a certain amount of money that consistently had to go towards my goals. And then the third reason was I had a very clear why, a very clear reason behind my investing or my saving, I would say. So all the money that I was saving, and I remember I was in a circle at a very early age, all the money I was saving had very clear goals. I wanted to be a millionaire. And therefore, for me, it was about getting to that particular level, getting to that particular amount of money. And so I had a very clear reason. The reason was that I wanted to do certain things that only being a millionaire would allow me to do. Because in my mind, I could only achieve or access certain things if I became a millionaire. So my reason could not have been the same reason I have now for investing, like financial freedom. But at that time, the reason was I wanted to get to that particular stage. That was my reason. And that particular stage would then allow me to access certain things and certain people and certain services that probably I couldn't access as a non-millionaire. It was about establishing myself not just as a child, but now as a proper adult who could then be independent and take care of his own things. Again, I thought that having that million would then put me in a space whereby I would be able to take care of my own things the way I wanted to take care of stuff. So that is what I associated at that particular time with that million. And that was my why. That was my reason behind investing. And of course, being rich. At that time, you want to be rich. Nobody doesn't want to be rich. And being a millionaire is part of being rich. So that was my why for investing. And then the other thing is, at a very early age, I played the long game. So I didn't sit down and think, oh, I need to make this money tomorrow or next week or anything. I had that long-term mindset from a very early age. So right now, when I tell very young people that, you know what, you have a lot of time, have a long-term mindset. They're like, no, that's too long. I don't want that. You know what? Whether you do it or you don't do it, time is coming, time is going, your age is catching up. So would you rather not do it or start doing it as early as possible or start doing it later? So one thing I had was that mindset of, you know what, I can actually do this by just saving this amount of money every single month, and in 2-3 years, I will be where I want to be. So it didn't intimidate me that I wanted the money immediately, and 2 to 3 years or 4 years or 5 years was too long. I had a long-term mindset. I was playing the long game. And when you're playing the long game, you don't really care about what happens in the short term because you are so focused on where you're going to that the small distractions will not interfere with your goal. So that long-term mindset has stuck with me up to now, and it helps me look at my life in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years away from now. And one thing I do say, as black people haven't really mastered is how to think long-term. Even in the terms of how we run the country, we run everything in our lives, we don't think long-term. We don't think of next generation, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. We're always thinking, how am I going to survive the next day, the next week, the next whatever? But the economy has changed, the world has changed. That mindset worked in our old systems. The new system, the capitalistic system, requires people who plan ahead, people who strategize, people who have a very clear goal of where they want to be and where they want their generations to be in the next 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years. That's why we are where we are financially speaking, because people did not plan ahead. And we cannot blame the people who didn't plan ahead because that wasn't their system as such. But for us who have the knowledge and the information and the access to all these investment vehicles, we have no excuse but to plan ahead. One thing I must also say that led me to being a millionaire at 22 is that I have always understood the importance of financial literacy. So I've always gone out there to find information about money, how to manage money. At a very young age, I remember I was very interested in, counting the money that was coming from my mom's business, counting the money that I would save when I was in school. I was making sure that when I came back from school after, a whole time, I had some money left, counting the money from my small hustles here and there. So I always managed my money quite well. And therefore, I had to find ways of, growing that money. I was like, do I just save this money or should I grow it? I was like, okay, I need to grow this money. Where do I do it? I go to people that knew the information. At that time, there was no online as such. I go to people who know this information. I get information about circles and how to save money and stuff like that. And that's how you grow your wealth, you grow your knowledge. So I was quite interested in financial literacy. You have to know what you're doing. And then I also was very keen on investing in myself, my education, my skills and stuff. And I've done a video on my skills and everything that I've learned. These are some of the things that led me to being a millionaire at a very young age, because then I was developing my skills each time. I've done so many things in my past, so many things. And those things have led me to where I am and who I am, because I'm always interested in investing in myself. I'm not afraid to invest in myself. I'm not afraid to pay someone to give me some information that will improve my life the next day. So that self-investment has always been quite ingrained in me. And finally, I was dating the right person. So at that time, I started dating around 2021. I was dating the right person, someone who understood where I wanted to go to. And that's why I always say, get the right people who understands your values, understands your goals, understands where you're going to, and not someone who will derail you. Get someone who supports your goals, someone who supports your journey. If you have a good person, you're going to make money. And I remember even by 24, we had like probably more than 2 million cash money. I remember we bought a very nice car, cash money, at a very young age. And this is because I was dating someone who understood what we wanted, understood the value of money, understood that, we have to work, make that money work for us consistently. So if you're dating someone, always know that those people have an influence on where you go to financially speaking. I hope this has been helpful. Remember, Ken's Money Matters is now offering a 1-hour consultation for anything, any issue that you may have. Check out our website, kensmoneymatters.com, and then you can always approach me and you can have a call with me to discuss anything. If you don't want that, we have packages properly delivered that can give you a proper plan on how to achieve your financial objectives. So depending on what you want, we have everything for you. Remember, Ken's Money Matters here. We're talking about financial freedom all the time. Leave your comment below on what are you doing to achieve your financial goals, guys. Subscribe, share, and like.